Ministry of Local Government for the San Fernando City Corporation, and I'm sorry that the mayor did not find the time to be here and at least talk with the people of Marabella and environs in terms of, what are the possibilities for this facility. But I want to tell you that whenever the People's Partnership Government construct a pavilion or create a recreation ground in any community, the end game is to create or strengthen long-term partnerships between the community and the government. This pavilion, which we are commissioning today, is no exception. Its construction is predicated on two predominant intents. And the first is to establish and solidify a partnership between the community of Batu Avenue and environs and the government. And in this case, we would have said the City Corporation. And of course, it has to be the City Corporation, the government represented by the City Corporation in terms of local government. The City Corporation has the responsibility in law to develop and to deal with these type of facilities. And the second reason is for the facility to serve to rekindle and preserve the spirit of camaraderie in competitiveness in all sport, not only cricket, football, but also basketball. And rugby has been a significant sporting activity on this ground. And as Mr. Caesar would have told you, all these things have been lost post-1960 among the sportsmen of the different streets in Marabella and environs. This pavilion was a small, rundown one with no facilities, and had really outlived its usefulness, and it had to be demolished. And as I would have said, for the years of the City Corporation, this was one of the difficulties. And I recall that in 2007, the then government handed this facility to the Sport Company of Trinidad and Tobago to develop. And of course, it has taken the People's Partnership in our first term in office, 2010 to 2015, to produce this pavilion and this facility you are seeing here today for the people. But the sad thing about the non-delivery of this project over all the years is that the fate of sport in the community, and I'm sorry Mr. Tracy did not speak longer, in terms of how many teams were there in the 34, and you're down to how many now? 10 teams because of a lack of facility. There's no home ground, and therefore there were several, with these games, the young people have had to go elsewhere to find a facility, and it involves transportation. And I know over the years, and Mr. Jack, you have seen Mr. Jack, please stand. I remember Mr. Jack coming to me appealing. This is Rudolph Jack, you might have heard of him. And children in this community have reached the UK and what other countries. I know I have seen pictures and all the years in terms of the agitation to get assistance. Young people in this district who would not have otherwise even seen Tobago have been, I think they have traveled more than I have internationally, and have been successful. Not only in rugby, we had the basketball and all the other sports. And these two gentlemen sitting at the front here have been at the forefront of the development of youth in the community of Marabella. And I want you to really show them appreciation for the effort. Without them, sports would have virtually died compared to the times when almost every street had a football, a cricket team, a basketball team, and later the rugby. And the competition was intense. So, having gone through all that, we are hoping with the start with this facility, we would bring back those old-time days to this community of Marabella. And today, the lost friendly rivalry can be reignited on this very ground, which has undergone major improvement in terms of the pavilion. But I want to say here today that, as I hinted earlier, the construction of the pavilion is not all. And if you look out in front there, I wonder what people will sit in the pavilion to see. And I'm happy, I thank God for the showers of blessings we have had today in terms of seeing the shortfalls in the construction. because we look at the pavilion, there is need for an awning, and I was talking about keeping out the rain, but the users have said the sun in the afternoon is terrible, people cannot use it. So between Permanent Secretary and the Chairman and CEO of Rudicot, I would like to appeal to the, I do not know how I can appeal to the San Fernando City Corporation again, but since it's their responsibility, I would ask the corporation, as we have been asking. But I heard the Councillor Sugrim appealing to the Ministry of Local Government to assist with funding. But remember, your plan has no Ministry of Local Government. Your leader's plan has no ministry. So I just want to tell you that under this government, we will continue to find the resources wherever we can. I spoke with Minister Brent Sancho in terms of assistance from the sport company for this field. Chairman indicated that he has responded positively. In addition to that, and notwithstanding that, I want to commit the Permanent Secretary and Rudicot in terms of any available resources remaining on this project to install awnings here for the users. But before you even do that, Permanent Secretary, we need to get the ground filled. And I want to commit the Ministry of Local Government to at least 25 large loads, or maybe $25,000, a cash figure, to this community for the filling of that ground and the equipment and whatever resources are required to level this. I was totally embarrassed when I came here today, because we have been asking, I'd sent our engineering guy, Mr. Maynard, to look at the ground and work with the city corporation to see how it could have been dealt with. And to come and open this facility in this condition today, I mean, we did our part as the ministry. We undertook a stand, and the stand is up, notwithstanding all the small challenges we have seen, and those could be fixed. But we need to have a proper ground. The rugby field is no more, and the rugby and football have been sharing the same field. But that is not good enough in terms of the kind of community this is and the extent of sporting activities. Sorry? The lighting facilities as well. And of course, it cannot come all at the same time, Mr. Jack. We know there was a proposal for the lighting as well. And the lighting, ideally, should be done before the ground is fixed. But the ground is so bad, we need to do a phase 1 in terms of the leveling and repair to the ground. And then we go to stage 2, which will be the lighting. And I think we had promised to upgrade the surface of the basketball court as well. I'm not sure how far that has reached. But the ministry did put aside some funds to really work on this Marabella recreation ground. And I want to also appeal to Mr. David Lee, if you can show this community what you're worth in terms of committing the equipment. I'm sure you have the connection to do that. So I want to put a challenge to you today to assist the sporting organizations in this community with the equipment. The ministry will put the backfill and all the other areas. And of course, we would work with T&Tech and others, the sport company, to do the lighting, and we just have 2 weeks to do so. We are not making any empty promises here today. So I want to also, these facilities, I did not notice a sign. I know there are lots of tents up, but I always ask the contractors to contribute to these facilities. You got a contract, I think it was a couple of $1 million, and something as simple as a sign we did not see. So at least the contractor should be obligated to put the signage on this, a modern sign on this facility. And I want to thank them in advance, V. Mahadev and Sons Limited, also Madam Chair and CEO of Rural Development. I want to thank you. This has been a challenging project in this location, and particularly the planning unit of the Ministry of Local Government. Please accept my sincerest congratulations for a job well done. And I plead with the entire community of Batu Avenue that any legitimate engagement of this facility must be done in a manner where you cannot get it wrong. It must be done correctly. And there were issues earlier on with use of this facility, and the facility was constructed, and it should not be sitting as a monument locked up because it has not been commissioned or because someone didn't do the official opening. This facility belongs to all the people of Marabella and environs. So come tomorrow and after September 7th, 2015, regardless of which side of the political divide you are sympathetic, and I see red shirts and yellow shirts sitting together. So wherever you are, whichever side you're on, I want you to stand as a bonded community to use and preserve this facility. This facility has no political owner. It belongs to all the people of Marabella, and I repeat that, all the people. And all it has is community ownership. There were some ladies trying to use this facility. They were using the facility and they were denied access to the washrooms, while other groups came in and they were able to use the washrooms. And there's all kinds of stories about the key not being available. And had I been around, when those women were there, I would have said, break the lock. I'm not encouraging vandalism or anything like that. But after the government spent $2 million, we can't have ladies in Marabella going against a wall to do what they have to do when we have a facility locked up, a facility that was built for the people. So I want to notify Councillor Sugrim as Chair of Infrastructure, Sport and Recreation, and also as the representative for this district. I want you to ensure that all the users have equal access to this facility and that the keys are given to, under proper arrangement, of course. Every group, whether it's rugby, football, cricket, and they would work out among themselves, schedule who would use what when, but everyone must have access to this facility. It is the people's facility. The staff of the corporation, Friday afternoon, when they leave the city of San Fernando, they do not come back if we're lucky. Monday morning, they come back to work. On the weekend, this is a recreational facility. The villagers and others must have the use over the weekend and late in the night as well. When they leave in the afternoon, they come back next morning. And when we put the lights, we would want to have activities here. We want to get the youths off the streets, and we want to get full use of this facility. So I want to remind you and urge you to take care of the multi-users. We don't want confusion and bacchanal. So listen to me, I said schedule the use, and you have the different grounds, and when they're developed, every group will have its own space on this ground. And therefore, I want to urge you to make best use of it and take good care. And on behalf of the Ministry of Local Government, I declare this facility commissioned and open. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Minister. You gave us a lot of food for thought, and a lot of responsibilities have been placed on the community, on the people who are involved in sports in this community. This is your ground. This is your space. You take care of it just as how you take care of your home. The challenge is now given to you. As we have come to the final stage of our afternoon's event, I would ask Ms. Nicole Gopal Singh, to deliver the vote of thanks, and this will be immediately followed by the cutting of the ribbon by the Honourable Minister. Ms. Gopal Singh.
Honourable Minister of Local Government, Ms. Marlene Coudray, Ms. Angela Edwards, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Local Government, Chairman of Rural Development Company Limited, Ms. Haida Mohammed, Councillor Sugrim, representative of this area, Mr. David Lee, candidate for Pointe-a-Pierre, Madam Chairman, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to give the vote of thanks at this auspicious occasion, the opening ceremony of the Marabella Recreation Ground Pavilion. Firstly, I would like to sincerely thank you, the guest of honor, the Honourable Minister of Local Government, Ms. Marlene Coudray, for your insightful remarks that have set the tone for our evening. Having clearly listened to your moving speech, on behalf of the San Fernando City Corporation, I wish to express our heartfelt appreciation to you for the inspiring, challenging, and wise council speech. We truly aim to further the momentum of long-term partnership between the community, the San Fernando City Corporation, and the government. Secondly, I would like to express our profound gratitude to the Ministry of Local Government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago for accepting to host this brilliant opening ceremony and the wonderful hospitality accorded to all invitees. Allow me to also thank all ministers, councillors, and representatives of the people present here today. Your attendance and contributions today and generally is a clear manifestation of your strong commitment to the development of this beautiful city of San Fernando. Distinguished guests, this opening ceremony would not be possible without the efforts of Rural Development Company Limited, the company responsible for constructing this fantastic user-friendly pavilion. Lastly, but certainly not least, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, an event like this cannot happen overnight. The wheels started rolling months ago. It requires planning and a bird's-eye view for details. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated colleagues at the San Fernando City Corporation. I cannot thank everyone for their involvement and willingness to take on the completion of tasks beyond their comfort zones. With these few words, I thank you for your attention and God bless you all.
Yeah, she feels enough. Eu não sabia, ele sai ali para fazer isso. Mas Gustavo, show yourself.
Let Mr. Lee. Wait, let Mr. Lee come in.
Mr. Lee, come closer.
Let Mr. Lee come close to you.
Right.
Yeah. You know the thing?
And you boofed me up for that.
Say when?
When?
Go ahead. Right.
I don't know why. No, not at school. Just
Yes, you could stand up here and you could be talking to a few people. Hello, photographers. All come along this way. Cody, come on, let's go right. Mr. Lee, you all look so nice. Yeah, I can't feel it.
Cosa so good?
Hi. Who else in the shop?
Yes.
Madam Minister, the City Corporation, we are told, they have now purchased a wrecker. And we know the Business Association have been having lots of meetings with the mayor, with the corporation, indicating that businesses are closing down, they are affected, and when you wreck, you are stopping people from coming into the city of San Fernando. Do you have any response?
Well, the thing is, if people are illegally parked, there has to be some sanction to deal with it. But the city, over the years, promised to provide since the public car park was taken away, San Fernandians have not been provided with a public car park. So we're kind of in a catch-22 situation, and there must be some compromise, and the mayor should meet with the business people to work out a solution in terms of the effect on the business. But I cannot say, well, no wrecker, but I know the wrecking has to be approved by the Minister responsible for transport. It used to be Works and Transport, now it's Minister of Transport. And Minister of Works owns the roads, so that they have to have central government permission in order to operate wreckers.
And tell me about the corporation purchasing a wrecker.
Well, I am not aware. Well, we try to give them autonomy in terms, if that is more important to them than repairing roads and drains, then, they have to deal, the people of San Fernando will deal with that. It's not really one of their core functions, and if they choose to use the funding to purchase a wrecker, to remove cars rather than deal with drains, you saw the issues here with the recreation facilities. So if that's the council's priorities, well, that's for the people in San Fernando to deal with.
And what about the businesses dying in San Fernando? There are lots of spaces for rent.
Again, the city council needs to sit with the business owners. They need to have some kind of meeting to work out what the issues are and try to come up with some kind of solution. I'm getting wet here. Yes. Just step a little. I need to step forward again. The relationship the city council chooses to have with its citizens, whether it's the corporate or ordinary citizens. And I know that the business community had appealed to the council sometime earlier in terms of some of their issues, so that I can only say that if they are not getting assistance at that level, they can appeal to the Minister of Transport or the Minister of Trade or some other government ministry to assist them. Yeah?
What about the situation with vending? We've seen the Port of Spain mayor put zero tolerance on vending. San Fernando mayor said after Christmas, that's the end of vending. But to date, there has been no end to the vending. And people from all over the country and the Caribbean are vending on the street now.
Well, generally, what we are seeing in San Fernando is a deterioration of all our institutions and all the, facilities. And it is up to the council to deal with it. Vending is illegal. Street vending on the street, as they are doing, is illegal, and there must be some kind of sanctions to deal with it.
Well, the mayor has been saying that there are no police, he does not have the resources.
Yeah, sorry.
The mayor has been saying he does not have the resources for the police. But yet with two wreckers, you have two police full-time on these wreckers.
But where did the resources come from to buy two wreckers? And I'm saying, again, it has to do with priority and the proper management of public funds. What is the priority of the council? Is the priority to buy wreckers, move people's vehicles? Or is it to deal with the other issues that are critical to the economic development, the social economic development of the people in San Fernando?
I think it's about $800 every time you pick up somebody's vehicle. Is that going in a special fund? Are you aware of what happened with it?
Well, I have had complaints from people that they get more than one receipt when they pay, and people find it very curious. And I understand a percentage of the money goes to the mayor's fund and another percentage goes to the corporation fund. That is not legal as far as I know. All revenue coming out, if you take money from the corporation fund to buy a wrecker and it's earning money, that money should go into the bank account of the corporation and not the mayor's fund. As you know, mayors and chairmen have funds, and there's very little control in terms of how they're spent, and over the years the complaint has been that they are spending it politically rather than for developmental issues within the municipality. So.
My name is Rudolph Jack. Rugby development and technically directing the youths in rugby. You mean the pavilion? Yeah, well, yeah, it's baby steps we're going in. We start with the pavilion. We just hope, as the minister mentioned, we will get the completion of the ground and the lighting in the next 3 weeks. No unfilled promises, she said. But that's the football. That's the football aspect, you know. Yeah. As a matter of fact, right now, since last year, I did an article on the on Zing magazine on the airline, and Flow and Prestige Holding saw my vision and they invest in me to do rugby development in South Trinidad, and we touched six communities between last year and this year, which is Guapo Point, Sobo, Mafikin,
Marabella?
Mafikin, Bastia, 6 company. Well, Marabella was always the home of it. Well, since 2007, this ground was demolished during the first election, and they repeated in 2010, and nothing have been done. During 2008, we did some makeshift repairs to play. After that, Ms. Coudray assisted Tracy Caesar, Petrotrin. Who it is from Petrotrin did help you?
It was Mr. Cornel.
Mr. Cornel did help us fix the ground during those years, and now it's our attempt we made 6 weeks ago that have we using the facilities now. Well, right, the ground ain't developed yet, but when they develop the ground, it's going to take the youths off the streets and put their mind in a positive action, and that's because due to rugby, we took players all over the world, and as a matter of fact, we now, the national team now come from North Carolina and Miami with an under-19 team, which most of the players came from off of this ground. Yes, we from under 13 many years, every other year we goes to England through our organization called Tour Aid, which pay the transportation, the hotel fee, everything, medical bill, and invite them there for a week. As a matter of fact, last year, 2014, we took a girls' team, and when they came back, they went on to the National League and came second. They lost to Rohelians by 1 point.
Yes, Tracy Caesar is the name. I have been involved with sports since 1971 on this ground, and at the executive level with Petrotrin Sports Club Pointe-à-Pied. Good. I am the tournament director of the Marabella Football League and the Marabella Basketball League. Right? And the league has grown from 1971 till about as far back as about 7-8 years ago. We had 34 teams in open, over 40 and under 17 divisions on one ground, and then the ground was dismantled, and I have been squatting and begging and lodging between the Manny Ramjohn training ground and Guaracara Park when Petrotrin allows us And Petrotrin actually sponsored these 2 community events for us, right? And we are being grateful to them, and it has helped with national development. This is our contribution, because out of the basketball league, players like Stephen Leiter Lewis, the defense was took him from here, playing for High Jets. Still, Pascal, and even this boy, Derek Boxill, all these guys came from this league. And with the football, where we put out Richard Quanchan and a couple of those guys, so we have been, as a matter of fact, right now,
happiness is the measure of success.
League and young people to go to it, double connection, youth team, and all these things. So that's our contribution. Well, it is a recurring decimal. I have experienced that several times, you know, different political organizations. We see when it's developed, when it is delivered. Because as I said earlier on, when you stand in front of the stand, it's a magnificent structure. But when you sit in the stand, it's shameful when you look out.
I always happy was money in the hand, but I don't got no time for no worries. I don't got no time for no stress in my head. Come on in mind, so I'm ready for who on the road.
The city corporation,
I come out to live my life. Live my life, pay a mass and live my life. I'm the happiest man alive. I come out to live my life. Live my life, drink a rum and live my life. I'm the happiest man alive. Somebody say, oh, 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 yeah, live my life. Live my life.
But they normally do not treat us as part of San Fernando City, because we are the latest addition to the city. So we are holding always, this was always Victoria County Council until some
all of the girls them just move up their waistline, but she don't got no time for no worries. She don't got no time for no stress, and she had how much in mind. So she ready
I have over 800 young people playing in Marabella.
that's why we go live with life. Think around and live with life. Pay a mass and live with life. The happiest people alive. That's why we go live with life. Jump around and live with life. Drink around and live with life. The happiest people alive. Somebody say, oh, 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 oh. Live my life. The happiest people alive. Somebody say, oh, 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 oh. Live my life.
Let them play national rugby, so we work like that. Okay then.
I don't got no time for no worries. I don't got no time for no stress in my head. I'm on my mind, so I'm ready to go on the road. I come out to live my life, jump around and live my life, play a mass and live my life. I'm the happiest man alive. I come out to live my life, live my life, drink a rum and live my life. I'm the happiest man alive. Somebody say, oh, oh, drink a rum and play a mass and live my life. The happiest people alive. Somebody say, oh, oh, jump around and drink a rum and live my life. The happiest people alive. Somebody say.